Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle, the show where we take a bunch of mods of a similar theme and throw them all together. Now this is going to be a continuation of the videos we've been doing where we compile a bunch of lore-friendly weapons into one nice list. We've already done pistols and we've already done shotguns, and now due to popular demand we're going to be covering assault rifles. Now, one key note about assault rifles in Fallout is they're not super common. In most of the games, a lot of what we get are semi-automatic rifles like carbines and DMRs, stuff like that, but true assault rifles are a pretty rare thing, so we may have to make a couple of exceptions here and there. So just before anybody goes crazy in the comments, I just want to get that out of the way in case something doesn't quite meet your specifications. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. We have a whole bunch of mods to get through, so I'm not going to be covering every single detail and every little feature of every mod that we look at, but I will be getting the key important stuff that I think most people are looking for when they go to download mods and add them to their own load orders. With that though, let's go ahead and start with the first weapon mod, which is going to be Talon Company Mercs by Subutai Khan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Talon Company Mercs, that's a quest mod, not a weapon mod. Well, listen here, you little Talon Company Mercs at its core is indeed a quest mod, but it has some interesting optional files, my favorite of which is going to include a standalone R91 assault rifle, a very familiar assault rifle that people are absolutely in love with from Fallout 3, and this is a pretty interesting way to add it to the game. Now, this mod's going to require the HKG3 family at its core, and it would have been easy just to throw that mod onto this list. But the HKG3 family, while a wonderful mod and a staple in my load order, does have a few attachments that are a bit modern and aren't exactly something seen in the Fallout franchise. But using the Talon Company Mercs add-on in conjunction with the HKG3 family mod, you get a standalone R91 assault rifle that appears just as it should have in Fallout 4. This is one of those weapons where people just scratch their heads and wonder why Bethesda bothered to take it out in the first place. This is something that just should have been there from the very beginning, and using a handful of these mods together, you can achieve that very easily. And it even implements it in a lore-friendly way. If Bethesda does have some reason for the R91 to not be in Fallout 4, the way that it's added with this mod makes it so that only Talon Company Mercs will spawn with the R91. So whenever you find them migrating their way over from the capital Wasteland, you can pick up some of their unique rifles, which makes it a pretty cool lore-friendly integration. Definitely love the way that this combines these two mods to make a really wonderful experience, and it gets our hands on the R91 once again. Wonderful little pair of mods, and definitely something you should try out for yourself to get a really cool flashback to Fallout 3. Moving on though, we have another Fallout 3 mod, and that's going to be the Chinese Assault Rifle by Wasteland Melody. Now, interestingly enough, Talon Company Mercs has an add-on for the Chinese Assault Rifle as well. However, I think the Chinese Assault Rifle works as a standalone mod as it is literally a weapon from Fallout 3. There's no modern add-ons, nothing like that. This is just a perfect rendition of the Fallout 3 Chinese assault rifle, and this thing looks great. Pair it with something like War Daddy's reanimations and you have a nice complete weapon mod. This thing is going to be fully integrated into the level list as well, so you'll be able to find it on Raiders and Gunners, just like the classic Fallout 3 experience, but with the added bonus of utilizing Fallout 4's weapon modification system, truly bringing this weapon into the modern era. This is another weapon where it's just, why didn't they do this? Why was this ever thought to be left out of the game? And honestly, this is something that was supposed to be in the game. If you go and browse through Fallout 4's data files, you will find the Chinese assault rifle meshes. But for whatever reason, it just didn't make it into the final cut, and we got Fallout 4's vanilla assault rifle. Wasteland Melody does some awesome work, and this is no different. Definitely worth checking this one out. If you somehow haven't used the Chinese assault rifle before, add this one to your load order. You will not regret it. Now, up next, we have my personal favorite mod, not only on this list, but possibly of all time, and that's going to be the Service Rifle from Deadpool 2099. Moving away from Fallout 3 and heading to the West Coast, we have the Service Rifle from Fallout New Vegas, a wonderful platform from classic Fallout, and this mod is basically going to encompass the Service Rifle, the Assault Carbine, and the Marksman Carbine, all featured in Fallout New Vegas as part of one heavily modifiable M4. But it doesn't stop there. Not only can you modify this thing to be any of the classic variants from Fallout New Vegas, you can even add some brand new parts that Deadpool added just for Fallout 4's modification system. This includes a handful of rechambers like 9mm or even 7.62 if you're feeling crazy. It includes a bunch of makeshift handmade parts, so it really looks good in the hands of raiders, which is a detail that I love. And on top of all that, there's a ton of unique variants of this weapon to go and find out in the world, including some that have some crazy modifications like allowing you to shoot out radiation damage. And it's not just a status effect, it literally changes the visuals of the gun. There's Gauss versions of this thing, and there's even some of the classic versions like the Survivalist rifle that's chambered in 12.7mm. Of course, this service rifle is added to the level list and it will spawn just about everywhere on raiders, gunners, vendors, you name it. This is truly a wonderful one-stop shop for a lore-friendly assault rifle experience, and this thing is heavily modifiable to do just about anything you need it to. You need an LMG? Throw on a 100-round beta mag and go to town. You need a DMR? Throw on a long-range scope and some higher caliber rounds and you can do just about anything. This is a wonderful weapon and truly a staple in my load order. I say that a lot about a lot of mods, but this one is just truly special to me. Don't know what it is, but something about a combination of the service rifle and some heavily modifiable parts just makes me happy. Now moving on, I think it's time we get a little bit more classic and check out something like the Rangemaster Remaster by J.K. Ruse 05. Now, this weapon is referred to as the hunting rifle in Fallout 1 and 2, however, the way that it's represented in this mod is very different. In the past games, it was a semi-automatic ranged rifle, but here, given the modifications available at a weapons workbench, you can do a lot with this thing, including rechamber it into many different calibers, and of course put this thing in fully automatic. And pretty much, this thing is an assault rifle with the right modifications. J.K. Ruse did a wonderful job with this rifle. This thing absolutely fits the style of the classic Fallout, bringing in again some more elements from Fallout 4 like the weapons modifications at the workbench, and you can do a lot of crazy stuff with this thing that just make it totally different. And it comes with a bunch of faction skins as well, and of course leveled list integration, so you will find this everywhere out in the Commonwealth. Now up next we have a rifle that has not been featured in any past Fallouts, however, I would definitely say that this thing is lore friendly. This fits right in the era that most weapons from Fallout are from, and we're taking a look at the EM2 Rifle number 9 Mark I by asXas. Now the EM2 is a wonderful bullpup retro rifle with a serious Fallout look. I mean, look at this thing. We've got a crazy bullpup with wood furniture, and that front foregrip just screams Fallout. The amount of weapons we have with that style of foregrip in Fallout is kind of astonishing if you really think about it. But all that aside, the EM2 is going to make a fun, new, unique assault rifle for you to find in your game. After completing a new quest, you will have this thing, but it is one of a kind and exclusive to the player. And honestly, that's just fine. As much as I love leveled list integration, sometimes it's just not right. And with a rifle as unique as this coming all the way from across the sea, it makes sense that this thing is unique. But it is a really cool rifle nonetheless, and one that I highly recommend checking out for some really cool custom animations and a brand new bullpup rifle. Now, up next, we are checking out the FN FAL, a classic from Fallout 2. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful retro rifle, something that's prevalent in a handful of militaries and something that just makes sense in the Fallout universe, and it's another one of those weapons that I really wish had just been present in the vanilla game. Now, the specific FN FAL that we're checking out today is the one by DOOMBASED, and this is going to include some really wonderful custom animations and, of course, leveled list integration. I know there's a couple of FAL mods out there, and by all means, choose whichever one fits your load order best, but if we're aiming specifically for lore friendliness, I'm going for the one by Doom. It has a lot of the retro parts that I really enjoy, and doesn't include too many modern tactical attachments that are a little bit out of place in Fallout's universe. The FAL is an absolutely wonderful weapon and honestly just fits in the sandbox super well, as a nice high-power, higher-end assault rifle. Now, the next weapon is a little bit interesting. We're checking out the light support weapon by Scail, something from the SA-80 family. This is definitely going to be a bit more of an LMG than an assault rifle, at least in the form of this mod. Now, this one's a bit tricky. The whole reason that it's on this list in the first place is to represent the XL70E3 from Fallout 2, which is an assault rifle. And that weapon is very clearly from the SA80 family, and that's why we're using the light support weapon. The problem is the light support weapon is also an LMG in Fallout 2, so it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. Now, there is a standalone SA80 mod that you could download, but that one's definitely a lot more on the modern tactical side of things, whereas this one by Scail is a little bit more lore-friendly and retro. So despite this thing definitely being an LMG at heart, I'm going to throw it on this list anyways, just to have some representation for that XL70E3 from Fallout 2. Regardless though, this is a wonderful new bullpup rifle, definitely a nice retro one for some more British influence on the Wasteland, and this thing's super cool. Of course, you're going to get custom animations with this thing, and this one's added to the level list. You'll find it all over the Commonwealth, and you can even purchase it from vendors. Really cool stuff by Scail, and if you're looking for even more lore-friendly weapons, check out Scail's user profile, because you will find a lot there. Same goes for a lot of the authors on this list. Moving on, we have another rifle from Fallout's past, and that's going to be the Steyr Aug A1 by FX0X01. Now, this one in particular was from Fallout Tactics, which I know is decanonized. That being said, every single weapon in there isn't necessarily not part of the canon. For example, Fallout Tactics features a lot of weapons that were present in Fallout 1 and 2, so it's possible that some of these weapons may have been in the Fallout universe as well. But hey, this isn't a list of canon weapons, this is a list of lore-friendly weapons, and I think the retro style of the Steyr Aug definitely fits in Fallout. Now, some of the more modern attachments may not be perfect for the Fallout universe, but I think that the retro style with the integral scope definitely fits the Fallout world, and I just love bullpups. Bullpups and Fallout are a really cool combination, and it's not something we really see a lot of in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, but it is something we see a lot of in the classic Fallout 1 and 2. So as far as I'm concerned, the Steyr Aug is super lore friendly, and it is something I would love to see in a mainstream Fallout game one day, but at the very least we can mod it into Fallout 4 right now. Moving right along, we're going to get a little bit sci-fi with it, with the HK G11K2 by asXas. Now I know this is a real world firearm, but this thing is absolutely insane, and mechanically this thing is just a spectacle. This is actually a weapon that was present in Fallout 2, and so this makes a great lore-friendly addition to Fallout. And honestly, this thing screams Fallout. Its big, boxy nature is something that would almost make sense as a ballistic alternative for the Institute in Fallout 4, but at the very least, it definitely has the nice retro style that we're used to in the Fallout universe. This thing is super cool, has some beautiful custom animations, some really unique firing modes, and a bunch of uniques that you can hunt down in the Commonwealth. So altogether, this is a nice complete package. But nothing less is expected from asXas. This is some truly wonderful work, and a great one that I highly recommend checking out. If you haven't tried the HKG11 before, definitely pick it up. This one is a ton of fun to use. And lastly, we have the AR-70 Assault Rifle by Michau. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. This AR-70 is another one of those weapons that wasn't present in Fallout, but I think would fit very well in the sandbox. Again, it's another one of those weapons that's present in the era that most Fallout weapons are from. It's very retro and is just super cool. I mean, honestly, there's no maximum number on how many 60s era's weapons I can cram into my game, and this one definitely fits that bill. This is a super cool assault rifle. Honestly, there's nothing too crazy about it. It is only added to one static location in the base version of the mod, but there are a couple of additional mods you can download to add this thing to the leveled list, or even use it as a weapon replacer. You're tired of seeing that vanilla assault rifle? You can replace it with this thing. Beyond that though, this is just another nice retro assault rifle. At this point you should have a good list of them going. And now we're going to finally wrap this video up as I am out of mods for this list. By all means though, there are definitely more assault rifles out there that could be considered lore friendly, and if there's one that you like in particular that you didn't see on this list, feel free to drop it in the comments below, as I'm sure people would love even more recommendations. That being said, now that we've done assault rifles, let me know what category you'd like to see next. We specifically covered assault rifles in this video, so there's definitely room for a standard rifle video later. Things like the M14, the M1 Garand, and many of the bolt action rifles from history that would fit right along Fallout 4 sandbox. So with that, let me know what category you'd like to see next, and thank you for making it this far in the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this. And hey, huge shout out to all of my patrons. It's thanks to donations from wonderful people like you guys that I can keep making videos just like this. So, huge shout out to Legendary Doggo, Uth RC, Adam Clark, Gunner, Bod38, Mikerhan, Feed, Volts402, Lothwolf, Brittany S, Dareb Kilrag, and Ali66, as well as my Tier 1 patrons Kai Reader and Matt Angulo. And hey, if you want to consider supporting the channel, feel free to check out the Patreon. You'll get early access to my mods, some special Discord roles, and of course, a shout out in every single video. But that's completely optional, just watching the videos is good enough as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.